Canada claims to follow the rule of law and the sovereignty of God in our charter. Too bad that our politicians are all liars. We can all see that this way of life is over, and for good reason. The Anglo-Saxon Empire is the most evil empire to have ever existed, and it needs to be destroyed. This world is run by the devil, and he has been wreaking havoc on mankind since the fall. Jesus said that we can love God or money. This is the world that money built. The devil's greatest triumph so far has been how he has taken control of the churches and tricked people into worshiping money instead of God. For example, Saturday is the Sabbath, but our society has turned it into shopping day where we worship materialism. Then religion embraced Christmas, which is really just the worship of stuff. The leaders of the Christian religions conspired with the publishers of the Bibles to change or modify the Bibles to suit their needs and control men. Thankfully, the Spirit leads us into all truth, and according to a lawyer, words still mean what the dictionary says they mean. The most profitable lie they tell is when these false churches claim that the authority from God was to church and governments and that we should obey them out of respect and fear. These people serve Satan and deserve neither respect nor fear. The authority from God is only to ministers of God to you for good. Therefore, if these leaders are causing harm, they are not from God. The authority that comes from God is also over the devil and his devices, including Christianity. Politicians are not from God. They are agents of Satan, proud attention-seeking power mongers with no authority or abilities. If people had the authority from God, they would be competent at everything that God calls them to do. Why would God call someone who couldn't do the job? Imagine if Noah was like the Titanic captain. Kind of explains why politicians are so incompetent, eh? God has had enough of these shenanigans, and the Bible says that God is going to end this way of life personally in Daniel 2. Jesus preached anarchy and told us not to listen to these dumb man-made rules. Christianity has been following the god of money since about 315 AD when Christianity was legalized. The Catholics got away with lying to make men pay tithes and follow rules because nobody outside of the Catholic Church could read a Bible written only in Latin. King Henry made sure that his new Protestant religion followed the Catholics once the Bible was translated into English, because if they followed what the Bible said, it would cause a religious revolution, ending their civilization. You can see our dilemma. We have Christian leaders who have been following lies for 500 years to build a very nice, comfortable life for themselves in the suburbs while the homeless die on our streets. How can we trust them to hear God or lead when they can't follow the most simple instructions written in plain English? House the homeless and share everything. How difficult is that? This is why God has no choice but to send prophets to warn his people of the coming destruction. Remember that when Jesus was here, his greatest enemies were the religious people who thought themselves better than everyone else. We've come full circle. The religious revolution begins by simply leaving this matrix of hell. Watch my playlist called The Way Home for all the details.